I can still feel his lips on mine. The taste of whiskey, guilt, and danger melted into that single kiss, and it happened right there, in my kitchen, barefoot, with my fingers gripping the countertop while my husband's brother pressed me against it. His shirt was half undone, and his hands trembled as if they feared what would come next, or maybe they craved it. I do not know which scared me more, how much I wanted him, or how much I stopped caring about who might find out. And find out, he did. Logan walked in. His briefcase hit the floor. Silence followed. But it was the silence before a storm. Before I take you any deeper into this twisted tale, let me say this first: thank you. Thank you so much to all of you who have subscribed to this channel. Your support means everything. And to my new and returning viewers who are yet to hit that subscribe button, I see you, I appreciate you, and I cannot wait for you to officially join this story-loving family. Your clicks and comments are the fuel that powers this channel. So, please, do not just watch. Engage. Tell me what you feel in the comments. I want to hear every word of it. Now, back to the kiss. My name is Olivia McMillan. I am 36 years old. I live in a quiet, well-trimmed neighborhood just outside of Austin, Texas. My husband, Logan, is a partner at a law firm, and we have been married for 10 years. 10 quiet, respectable, utterly exhausting years. To the world, we were a golden couple. We hosted perfect brunches, waved at the neighbors, wore matching clothes to holiday parties. But inside our home, we were just two well-dressed strangers sleeping in the same bed and pretending not to drown in silence. Logan was not a bad man. He was brilliant, composed, and calculated. But that was also the problem. He loved perfection more than he loved me. He married me because I fit his image. Somewhere between his rising career and my forced smiles at his clients, I disappeared. Sex became routine. Conversations became shallow. And my body became a checklist he completed, never explored. Then came Damien. Damien McMillan was Logan's younger brother. A firefighter. Reckless, impulsive, fiercely alive. He laughed with his whole chest. He wore his scars like medals. He hugged too long and looked too deep. When his apartment caught fire from faulty wiring, Logan offered our guest house while repairs were ongoing. I did not argue. I should have. But I did not. I remember the first morning he moved in. He came into the kitchen, shirtless, towel hanging low on his waist, asking where the coffee filters were. I stared too long. He smirked too knowingly. And I think something shifted that day. Something inside both of us. Damien and I were alone more than we should have been. Logan worked late most nights. I stayed home, working remotely as a digital designer. Damien started joining me in the kitchen, then the living room, then my garden. Our conversations grew deeper. He noticed things. Like the way I touched my necklace when I was nervous. Or how my eyes darted toward the door when Logan's name came up. One evening, while I chopped onions for dinner, Damien stood too close. His arm brushed mine. He whispered something about how I deserved more. More laughter. More warmth. More passion. I laughed it off, but my heart raced. It was a Saturday. Logan had flown to New York for a legal seminar. Damien came back from a shift at the station, bruised and exhausted. I was already in my robe, hair messy, sipping red wine. We talked. Laughed. He leaned on the counter. His eyes locked on mine. Then it happened. He stepped closer. I did not move away. His hand brushed my cheek. I could feel the heat of his breath. There was a pause. A final chance to walk away. I did not take it. His lips crushed mine. It was not sweet. It was violent with need. My back hit the counter. His hands tangled in my hair. My wine glass crashed to the floor. I moaned. He groaned. And then. The front door opened. Logan stood there, frozen. His briefcase slipped from his hand. Damien's shirt was halfway open. My robe was sliding off my shoulder. Wine stained the floor like spilled blood. No one spoke. My heart slammed so hard I thought I might faint. Logan's eyes moved from Damien to me, and then he simply turned and walked out. That was the moment I knew. I did not just kiss Damien. I kissed the devil. And he kissed me back. I stayed in the kitchen long after Logan left. My hands trembled as I picked up the broken pieces of the wine glass. The scent of red wine, sweat, and sin still lingered in the air. Damien tried to speak, but I told him to stop. I did not want words. I did not want explanations. I just wanted silence, silence to drown the sound of my heart breaking, silence to mask the truth I had already accepted. That kiss did not just happen. It had been waiting to happen. 4 months. Damien kept his distance for the next few days. He stayed in the guest house, only coming into the main house when necessary. I spent my hours pretending to work, pretending to clean, pretending to breathe. Logan did not come home that night. Or the next. When he finally returned, he did not speak to me. He simply walked in, packed a small bag, and left again. No screaming. No confrontation. Just silence, the kind that cuts deeper than any blade. I told myself it was over. That the damage had been done and the wound had to heal. But the ache between my thighs said otherwise. The fire Damien lit in me refused to die. One afternoon, I was watering my front yard when Damien approached me. He looked rough, unshaven, tired, eyes hollow. "I am sorry," he said. I told him it was not his fault. But we both knew it was. We tried to act normal after that. Short greetings. No lingering stares. I avoided being in the same room with him. I even tried going back to church. I sat in the pew, hoping to feel clean again. But the pew felt cold, and God felt far away. I was already too far gone. The rain started around midnight. Thunder cracked the sky. Power went out across the neighborhood. I was in the kitchen, lighting candles, when Damien came in soaking wet, shirt clinging to his chest. I froze. He did not speak. He just walked toward me. Each step he took tightened the knot in my stomach. The room was dim. The storm outside howled like a warning, but I did not move. I could not. He reached out and touched my cheek. His fingers were warm. I closed my eyes. I tried to stay away, he whispered. "I know," I breathed. Then he kissed me again. This time, we did not stop. The kiss turned into hunger. I wrapped my arms around his neck, and he lifted me onto the counter. My robe fell open. His hands explored places Logan had forgotten. His mouth found every inch of skin I used to hide. I was not thinking of right or wrong. I was not thinking of my husband. I was thinking of how alive I felt, how whole I finally was. Damien carried me to the living room couch. We did not make love gently. We devoured each other. I clawed at his back, and he whispered my name like a prayer he never learned in church. When it was over, we lay there breathless. The storm still raged outside, but inside, everything was still. Except my heart. The next day, Logan came home unannounced. I was folding laundry in the bedroom when he stepped in. "Is Damien still here?" he asked without looking at me. "Yes," I said. He nodded, then picked up one of his suits and left again. No accusations. Just cold calculation. That was worse. Later that night, I found Damien on the porch, smoking a cigarette he never lit. He looked at me and said, "He knows." I nodded. "Yes. He does." We sat in silence for a while, watching the moonlight dance on wet pavement. Then Damien spoke, his voice low. "There is something you do not know about Logan." I looked at him, waiting. He is not perfect, Olivia. He has cheated on you. More than once. I did not believe him at first. It felt like a twisted way to shift the guilt, to make me feel less dirty. But then Damien pulled out his phone and showed me the messages. Screenshots. Conversations. Pictures. Dates. Years. He had been unfaithful. Repeatedly. With women from work. With a client once. Even with a neighbor 2 blocks away. I sat there stunned. Not because he had done it, but because I had spent so long blaming myself for the emptiness in our marriage. I was not the first to betray us. Logan was. And I was just the one who got caught. Why are you showing me this now? I asked Damien. He looked down at his hands. Because I love you, he said. The words hit harder than I expected. Love? From the brother of my husband? This was not just an affair. It was a storm I could never escape. I stood up and walked inside, but I could still feel Damien's gaze on my back. It was heavy. It was real. I could feel everything unraveling. And I could not stop it. That night, I looked at myself in the mirror. I saw a woman I no longer recognized. A woman consumed by need, betrayal, lust, and lies. But I also saw something else. Power. For the first time in a long time, I was not the perfect wife. I was the fire. I was the storm. I was the devil's kiss. And I knew there was no going back. I knew the truth had a shelf life. Secrets, no matter how deeply buried, always find their way to light, especially when they are soaked in lust, betrayal, and family bloodlines. I thought the kiss in the kitchen would be the climax of my downfall. I thought the night on the couch with Damien would be the end of my guilt. But I was wrong. The real betrayal was yet to come. And it would not be mine alone. Days passed like sharp needles under my skin. Logan barely spoke to me, but his eyes screamed louder than any words ever could. Damien kept his distance, but he stayed. That was the most dangerous part. He stayed. I began having dreams, hot, suffocating dreams, of Logan standing over my bed, staring at me while I slept, holding something behind his back. A knife. A gun. A folder of evidence. I woke up gasping every night. I started drinking too much. Wine before noon. Vodka by dinner. And the more I drank, the more I remembered Damien's words. He cheated first. It became my anchor. My excuse. My validation. But it was also the lie I told myself to survive what I had become. It happened on a Friday. I had just stepped out of the shower when I heard the shouting. Not loud, not violent, but sharp. Controlled rage. That was Logan's specialty. I threw on a robe and rushed to the living room. Logan was standing by the staircase. Damien stood at the bottom, fists clenched. You want to take my wife? Logan said, laughing bitterly. You want to finish what you started in that kitchen? Damien did not flinch. She is not yours anymore, he said. You lost her long before I touched her. That was when Logan turned and looked at me. You think I do not know who you are, Olivia, he said. You think I have not been watching? He pulled a folder from his coat pocket and tossed it onto the table. Go ahead. Read it. I picked up the folder. Inside were photographs. Surveillance images. Printouts. Logs of calls and messages between Damien and me. He had hired a private investigator. I felt my knees weaken. But it got worse. Inside the folder was a legal draft. Divorce papers. Pre-filled. Cold. Strategic. He had already filed. And he was asking for everything. The house. The cars. Even the dog I rescued from the shelter. But what shattered me the most was the clause at the bottom. Irreconcilable differences due to adultery with a family member. My stomach turned. Logan did not shout. He did not hit. He did not cry. He destroyed me with precision. Like the lawyer he was. After Logan stormed out, I sat on the floor. Damien stood over me, unsure whether to touch me or leave me alone. Then, without warning, he knelt and said, "I need to tell you something." I looked at him, barely breathing. I knew about the investigation. I knew Logan had someone watching you. That is why I kissed you in the kitchen that day. I blinked. What? I needed him to see it, he whispered. I needed him to feel what I felt when I found out what he did to my ex-fiancée. He looked broken as he spoke. She left me because of Logan. He slept with her 2 weeks before our wedding. He ruined me. I wanted revenge. I froze. So I was just, revenge? I asked. No, he said quickly. It started that way, but I fell in love with you. I swear, Olivia, I did not plan to fall in love. But it did not matter. The damage was done. I had been a pawn in a war between brothers. A war I never asked to be part of. 3 days after the divorce papers arrived, Logan moved out completely. Damien packed his things that same week. He did not say goodbye. He left a box on my porch with a letter inside. Olivia. I am sorry for the pain I brought into your life. I never meant to destroy you. I just wanted to hurt him. But I ended up hurting the one person I grew to love. Maybe one day, when the smoke clears, we will find each other again. Or maybe this was all we were ever meant to be, ashes from the same fire. Damien. I sat on my porch holding that letter, rain pouring down on my bare feet. I cried until I could not anymore. Logan filed for sole ownership of the house. I fought back but lost most of it. I moved into a small apartment on the other side of town. I started therapy. I stopped drinking. And I stopped trusting. Men. Myself. Even my own heart. Sometimes I walk past mirrors and wonder who I have become. Other times, I stare into the glass and whisper. You kissed the devil, Olivia. And he kissed you back. But what no one tells you is that the devil does not disappear after the kiss. He lingers. In the spaces between dreams. In the spaces between regret. In the sound of your own breath, as you try to move on. Would you have done it? Would you have kissed him too? Tell me in the comments. I want to know. Thank you for taking this journey with me. The Devil's Kiss was not just a story. It was my confession.